The metaverse. It's a word you hear everywhere, but what does it actually mean? Well, let's forget the hype for a minute. In the next few minutes, we're going to go on a guided tour to really break down this new digital frontier, what it is, how it's being built, and, what it really means for you.
Right? You've heard the term a million times. And maybe you're picturing VR headsets or some kind of super advanced video game. And you know what? You're not totally wrong, but those are just little pieces of a much, much bigger puzzle. The reality is both simpler and way more profound. So let's just start with a clear definition.
Okay, so at its core, the metaverse is pretty simple. It's the next evolution of the internet. Think about it like this. Today, we browse the web from the outside, looking in at a screen. The metaverse is all about being inside of it. You're not just clicking on content, you're actually stepping into an experience. It's an internet you can literally walk through. All right, so our tour is going to begin right here at the gateway. This is where we'll cover the basic ideas you need to have in your back pocket to really navigate this new digital world. What's so fascinating is that the metaverse didn't just pop up out of nowhere. It's been quietly evolving for decades. It really started with those early virtual worlds that first gave us this idea of a digital presence. Then came Web 2 and social media, which made digital interaction a part of everyday life. And now, things like VR and AR, what we call spatial computing and blockchain, well, they're giving us the tools for true immersion. And, this is the big one, digital ownership. So to really get the metaverse, you need to understand its 5 foundational pillars. First is presence, that feeling of actually being there with other people. Then there's interoperability, which is the freedom to move between different worlds. You have a single digital identity that you control. Immersion is what makes it all feel real. And persistence? That just means the world keeps going and evolving even when you're not there, just like the real world. Now, this brings us to what might be the most important pillar of them all, interoperability. See, today's internet is basically a bunch of walled gardens. The stuff you have in one app is trapped there. The metaverse wants to be a totally connected continent, and interoperability is like your digital passport. It's what lets your avatar, your items, and your identity travel seamlessly with you, from one experience to the next. That's a game changer. Okay, so before we go any further, let's just clear the air real quick. The metaverse is not just about virtual reality. It's not one single platform owned by one single company. And it is not just a video game. Seriously, think of it less like a place and more like the next version of the entire internet itself. Okay, now that we've got the basics down, let's move into the districts. This is where we get to see the metaverse in action and explore what people are actually doing inside these brand new digital spaces. A great way to think about the metaverse is like a big digital city with different districts. You've got the social district, where you might go to a virtual concert with your friends from all over the world. Then there's the commerce district, where you could buy some digital fashion as an NFT for your avatar. And in the work district, teams are already collaborating in these immersive virtual meeting rooms that make remote work feel genuinely connected. And this slide right here shows that core difference perfectly. On the left, you've got today's internet, all these separate walled gardens where your stuff is trapped. But on the right, that's the metaverse vision, a connected space where you own your digital identity and your assets, and you can take them with you wherever you go. But look, this digital city isn't some perfect utopia. It's got some very real challenges. I mean, how do we make sure these new spaces are safe and properly moderated? How do we avoid total digital burnout? And right now, a lot of these so-called districts are still totally disconnected from each other, with huge accessibility gaps because of how expensive hardware and good internet can be. This brings us to the final stop on our tour, the blueprint. So now we're going to look to the future and check out the architecture, the challenges, and the opportunities that are going to define the next chapter of the metaverse. Building this future is going to require 4 absolutely essential components. First, you need the infrastructure. Think of it like the digital roads and bridges. You also need open standards so that everything can actually talk to each other. You need a functioning digital economy to create real value. And maybe most importantly, you need safety and governance to make it a space people can actually trust. You take away any one of those, and the whole vision just falls apart. And let's be real, this is not happening overnight. The growth is absolutely going to come in phases. In the near term, you can expect to see a lot more social spaces and some early virtual economies. Then, in the medium term, we'll start to see the first truly interoperable platforms pop up. And way down the line, in the long term, that grand vision of a fully connected, persistent digital world, well, that could actually become our reality. But getting to that future means we have to overcome some massive hurdles. On the technical side, we're still limited by hardware and bandwidth. On the societal side, we've got to tackle huge questions about things like addiction and digital inequality. And from a legal standpoint, we're basically writing the rulebook from scratch for concepts like digital property and whose laws apply where.
But even with all those challenges, the economic opportunity is just undeniable. We're seeing entirely new career paths being created right now. I mean, think about it. There are literally architects designing these new worlds, digital fashion designers creating virtual assets, moderators working to keep communities safe, and producers managing huge virtual events. It's a whole new economy.
So, after our tour through the gateway, the districts, and the blueprint, what's the big takeaway here? Well, we've basically built a mental map to help you navigate this new world. Let's do a quick recap. It really is a simple 3-step framework. First, you've got the gateway. Just understand those 5 core pillars, like interoperability and persistence. Second, the districts. Go explore the real-world experiences happening in social, commerce, and work. And third, the blueprint. Get a handle on the architecture and where this is all headed. This turns a really abstract concept into something you can actually work with. Ultimately, if you take just one thing away from all this, let it be this. The metaverse isn't just about technology. Like this says, it's really a map of human potential. It's a new canvas where we can connect and create and build in ways we are only just beginning to imagine. And that really brings us to the most important point. The metaverse isn't going to be built by just a handful of big companies. It's going to be shaped by every single person who participates. This is not a spectator sport. So the final question really isn't just what is the metaverse? It's how will you help shape it?